Well, hello there and welcome, and it's time for Express News. I'm Gautam Roy, but before we do that, let's get you some breaking news that's just coming in. That's coming in from the field of chess, the contest of chess. What you're seeing here are images of two Indian women who are vying for the FIDE Women's Chess World Cup 2025 Championship, and one of them has won. And guess what? It's not the veteran Koneru Hampi, but it's Divya Deshmukh. She's defeated compatriot Koneru Hampi in a tiebreaker. This is the first time that an Indian woman has won the Chess World Cup. The first 15-minute rapid game, because they'd drawn earlier, ended on a draw. Even the rapid game ended on a draw. But Divya pulled up a historic win in the second game against Koneru Hampi. Divya Deshmukh has become a grandmaster by securing her final GM norm with a stellar performance at the FIDE Women's World Cup, where she has defeated top-seeded players and clinched a title by overcoming Koneru Hampi in the rapid tie-break final. At just 19, Divya now becomes India's 88th grandmaster and only the 4th Indian woman to earn this prestigious title, marking a historic moment for Indian chess as well as women in Indian chess. If I could describe to you the images of the moment Divya won, she just couldn't believe it. She had tears in her eyes, her mouth was covered. She took a sip of water as well while shaking hands with those who were congratulating her right at that table where she won the match against Koneru Hampi. This was, of course, after she had shaken Koneru Hampi's hand herself, who, well, much senior to Divya, but has lost in a tiebreak. So this is the first time that an Indian woman has been crowned the world champion, the women world champion, world chess champion, and that honor has been bagged by Divya Deshmukh. So it was quite a match there in terms of how it went. Like I said, 19-year-old Divya Deshmukh has bagged the title of FIDE Women's World Chess World Cup champion. She only gave Koneru Hampi a small chance of making a comeback, but that didn't really work out. Koneru Hampi ultimately had to resign in the tiebreak, and that's how Divya Deshmukh won the match. Let me go across to my colleague Narayan to find out more about this. Narayan, just tell us more about Divya Deshmukh and how big a moment is this for Indian chess, particularly women in Indian chess.
Gautam, it's a watershed moment. It's a big historic moment for the Indian chess, the way the Indian women's dominated the World Cup, FIDE Women's World Cup. There were two women's finalists, Koneru Hampi and young Divya Deshmukh. And first time we saw that the Indian women's reached the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup. And the first time we saw the two women's from India are participating in this mega final, and first time we saw that Indian winning the FIDE Chess World Cup, that is the women's edition. So it's a big achievement for the Indian chess, and for Divya Deshmukh at the age of 19, she became the youngest women to win the coveted title, and at the age of 19, she also became, with this win, first we can say the grandmaster, the 88th grandmaster from India, and today she won the World Cup. So that personally for her, it's a big achievement. On a single day, she is becoming a world champion and also becoming the grandmaster for the India. And most importantly, from here, already she had, after entering the semi-finals, earned, we can say that candidates spot also. We know that candidates is the most coveted tournament in the chess world, where the 8 top 8 players plays in a round robin format, and the winner of the candidates becomes a challenger for the world champion. And here, two already, Divya and also Konoru Hempi, booked their spot in the candidates. So where they will play the candidates tournament, and the winner will just play the world champion from the China to challenge the world champion. So a big achievement. And talking about Divya, she is one of the finest player at the age of 19. She is continuously playing good chess. In the past, we saw she won the individual medal at the Chess Olympiad, as well as she helped the team to win the team medal, the women's team to win the team gold for the India. Take a look his achievement in the past. In the 40 time when she represented India, 35 times she finished the podium for the India. She is also the also a junior world champion. So we can say that the Indian chess especially is on a fast track. And not only, if you take a look at the achievement of the Indian chess player in the past few years, we won the gold at the Olympiad, both in the men's section, women's section, that is an open section that the men's one, and also we won the team event to the chess Olympiad. And in the process, and we saw in the past, Pragnananda played the final of the men's chess World Cup, where he lost to the Carlsen. And in the process, we saw Gukesh becoming the world champion. And that at one point in time, there was a question that who after Anand? The fight after the Anand, we saw that there is a big void in the Indian chess. But the way our young Indian chess player rose to the occasion, the way they are dominating the world, definitely it's incredible. And in the past, in the last candidates also, we saw 5 Indians who are there in the candidates, in the 2 in men's and 3 in the two in the women's category,
Certainly,
and 3 in the men's. The way
certainly, Narayan,
so
it's a huge achievement, and a big day in Indian chess. 19-year-old becoming the Women's FIDE World Cup champion, and one can only say that this is a sport which is dominated by India, has been so for many years, and now it's by both the sexes. So all the more power to both the sexes who are competing for India in this sport. It should be an Olympic sport as well. Let's see what progress can be made on that front. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Narayan. Now let's get on with the Express News. All the day's updates, 100 of them in just under 30 minutes. Now, the lower house of the Indian Parliament, or Lok Sabha, has held a special discussion on India's strong, successful and decisive Operation Sindoor in response to the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh initiated the debate in the Lok Sabha. He said that soon after the Pahalgam terror attack, India's armed forces took action and hit with precision 9 terrorist infra sites in which more than 100 terrorists, their trainers and handlers were targeted. The Defence Minister said that S-400 Akash missile system air defence guns proved to be very useful and completely foiled the attack by Pakistan. Speaking at the Lok Sabha, Rajnath Singh said that India paused its action because pre-decided political and military objectives had been achieved. He further added that claims of pausing the operation under any pressure are absolutely baseless and wrong. The minister also said that on the 10th of May, when the Indian Air Force struck hard at multiple airfields in Pakistan, it admitted defeat and offered to cease hostilities. This offer is accepted with the caveat that Operation Sindoor has only been paused. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar spoke with South Korea's Foreign Affairs Minister Cho Hyun-tong on Monday. The two leaders discussed ways to deepen bilateral cooperation and agreed to closely communicate for high-level exchanges and expanded practical cooperation. 3 terrorists have been neutralized in an intense firefight under anti-terror Operation Mahadev launched by Chinar Corps of the Indian Army in the general area of Lidwas in Jammu and Kashmir. The operation is still on. Former Union Minister Smriti Irani has said that India's greatest strength will be in the capacity to imagine, narrate and innovate as India journeys towards Viksit Bharat 2047. Appreciating Waves OTT, she said the platform has accomplished what commercial giants may have not by elevating daily creators. The last date for receipt of online applications for Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar has been extended to the 15th of August. A stampede took place at a temple in the North Indian city of Barabanki in the early hours of Monday. 2 devotees lost their lives while 29 others were injured. The stampede took place during morning prayers at around 2 a.m. Indian Standard Time when an electric wire fell on the tin shed inside the temple, causing panic. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has taken cognizance of the incident and expressed his condolences to the bereaved families. The 13-day pilgrimage to Sri Baba Buddha Amarnath in the Loran Valley, Jammu and Kashmir began today and will end on the 9th of August, coinciding with the festival of Raksha Bandhan. LG Manoj Sinha calls the sacred journey an enlightening experience, saying it is the greatest alchemy that unveils life's deepest secrets before the devotees. Over 377,000 devotees have performed the ongoing Amarnath pilgrimage during the last 25 days as a huge rush of pilgrims continues unabated. The Enforcement Directorate has issued fresh summons to tech giants Google and Meta, directing their representatives to appear before the agency today in connection with its ongoing money laundering probe. The Supreme Court will hear the petition filed by Justice Yashwant Verma of Allahabad High Court on Wednesday. The court has asked lawyer Kapil Sibal to place on record the fact-finding committee's report. Coal production in the country has already crossed the 1 million tons mark in the financial year 2024-25, and coal production target of 1 billion tons from Coal India Limited by 2026-27 has been prepared. Indian equity indices ended on a negative note on Monday. At close, the Sensex was down 572 points to stand at 80,891, and the Nifty was down 156 points to stand at 24,681. The Indian rupee ended 13 paise lower at 86.65 per dollar on Monday. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of August was priced at 98,092 Indian rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for September 5 maturity stood at 113,069 rupees per kg on the MCX. RBI Monetary Policy Committee member Nagesh Kumar has said that the Indian economy is growing at a robust pace and will not face any challenge in achieving a growth rate upwards of 6.5% in the current financial year. Global crude oil prices edged higher on Monday as investors assessed a trade deal between the United States and the European Union. European shares advanced to a 4-month high on Monday. Pan-European Stoxx 600 index rose 0.7%. Germany's blue chip DAX rose 0.6%. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has said on Monday that tech giant Samsung Electronics will provide his company with its next-generation AI 6 chips following the South Korean firm's announcement of a $16.5 billion USD deal. South Korean shares rose on Monday. The benchmark KOSPI closed at 0.42% higher. The Philippine Central Bank is on a course to cut policy rates twice this year. Its governor said on Monday, though the timing will depend on economic growth and inflation. Leaders of Cambodia and Thailand have agreed to an unconditional ceasefire during peace talks at Malaysia's Seri Perdana complex on Monday. Thailand's acting Prime Minister Phumtham Vechayachai and Cambodian PM Hun Manet also attended the mediation talks over the deadly border conflict. And ahead of the talks, at least 33 soldiers and civilians have been killed, while thousands of nationals from both sides have been displaced since border fighting broke out. At least 6 people were killed when a gunman opened fire at a market in Thailand's capital Bangkok on Monday. The Thai police said no tourists were killed or injured in the shooting. South Korea's Finance Minister Koo Yoon-chol is scheduled to meet with US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Thursday, the Finance Ministry said in a statement on Monday. The Israeli military released footage showing aid boxes and trucks at Kerem Shalom crossing after it announced a halt in military operations for 10 hours a day in parts of Gaza. And from Sunday, the military has designated secure routes for convoys delivering food and medicine, which will also be in place between 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. On being criticized internationally regarding humanitarian crisis in Gaza, Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu said that there is no starvation in Gaza as Israel allowed in aid throughout the conflict. Military spokesperson Brigadier General F.E. Defrin said that Israel will continue to facilitate the delivery of humanitarian aid into Gaza despite ongoing fighting. US President Donald Trump underscored the importance of securing the release of hostages held by the Hamas in Gaza, saying they had suddenly hardened up on the issue. The US and the European Union have reached a wide-ranging trade agreement which reduces tariff threats to 15%, with steel and aluminum still retaining 50% with a quota system. Under the agreement, a limited range of goods, including plain parts, will be fully exempt from tariffs. The deal came after a private meeting on Sunday between US President Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in Scotland. The EU has pledged $750 billion in US energy purchases and $600 billion in additional investments. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni welcomed the fact that a trade deal has been reached with the US, but said that she would be seeking more details. French Prime Minister Prasar Bharati on Monday slammed the weekend trade deal as a dark day. UK Premier Keir Starmer will be meeting US President Trump in Scotland on Monday, just a short while from now, during a mini summit at Turnberry. Senior US and Chinese negotiators will be meeting in Stockholm on Monday to tackle long-standing economic disputes. The Kremlin on Monday said it was not ruling out a possible meeting between Russian President and US President in September in China. A regional passenger train derailed near Redlingen, Germany on Sunday, killing 3 people and injuring 34, with approximately 100 passengers on board. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz expressed condolences. And that's all we have for the moment in Express News. With all the latest news right here on DD India. Stay with us.